Hi, I'm Sandi Genovese, and we are going to be making a really cool card today. If you look here, it kind of just looks like a scrambled mess, but in a circle form. What it really is a series of 3 circles, and there's a hidden message so that, your eye wants to kind of fix everything and make sense of it. So as you start rotating, you can see as things start to align, you realize, okay, well all right, now I'm seeing something. Then there's another circle, and as I do the same thing, as I rotate this until some of these start to align, let me see if I can do it so that my fingers are not in the way of you seeing. So that now, all of a sudden, what was just kind of a mess of lines and colored polka dots becomes an actual thank you message. What's cool about it is there's a nice big area on the back where you can write a message. This one is a thank you card. And then I created a second one. This is the one we're going to make today. And if I do the same thing, if I spin until I can see the 2 outer circles start to align, and then spin the interior one until it starts to align, and let me turn it so it's more easily readable by you, you can see that this is a happy birthday card. And when you turn it over, you can see how I've used all that background space to put a message. Well, I want to start off by telling you not to make the same mistake I did. If you look here, the size of this top circle, it really gives you too much of the word. So no matter how much you scramble this, it's gonna, you look at that and you can almost tell that's gonna say birthday. Whereas on this one, even though the circles are the same size, when it's scrambled, you can't see enough of any letter to tell what it really says. So the idea is either to spread your letters out so that this top circle is not obvious, or make this a smaller size circle so that you only see a little bit and then it's not so obvious. The rest of them are covered so that, the message is scrambled by the fact that it's covered up with this top. We need to start with circles. So what I did is I did 3 size circles. I did a 5-inch circle, a 4-inch circle, and a 3-inch circle. And as I said, if you want to play it safe, you might make this top circle even smaller, like maybe a 2-inch circle. So once you have your circles all decided, you are going to want to figure out the middle of the circles. So I just cut these out of copy paper. You're going to fold them in half and then in quarters, and where those folds intersect is going to give you the middle, the center of the circle. I've done that here with the 3-inch. I've also done it with the 4-inch and with the 5-inch, because you're going to want to mark the middle of all of those circles. So then you need to cut a circle that will be the base of the card. So I've started with basic white. And what you're going to do is take, and I brought this so I could show you, what I did was I used a stencil. So if I find, let's see, the first letter was a T, you can see here when I line that up that I used this stencil to write out the word thank you. And then I went back with just colored polka dots and placed them over the top using the clear stickers. For the bottom one, the happy birthday message, all I did was just took the plain circle and added my message by just placing the letters that spell out happy birthday. Just as simple as that. Here, in fact, I'll bring this up and you'll see, here are my originals. This is my original with the stickers, and this is my original with the stickers. The other thing I did was just I wanted my design to go to the outside edges, so there's detail in that outside circle when you only see the border. So I added what looks like flames to make the P look like it's a candle in the happy birthday message. Then you take this and you want to make 3 copies of this. So this way I can do a thank you and a birthday at once. Once you have all the sheets, then you're going to break that up. So at this point, I'm going to switch out, and I think what I'll do is we'll show how to make the happy birthday one. So I'll move everything else kind of out of the way. What you want to do is you'll take, remember I said you make 3 copies, and you know, the beauty of making photocopies is they'll all be identical. First of all, you need to mark the middle, the exact center of each of them. So take the 5-inch circle that already has the center marked and lay it down. And I like to do this on top of a piece of cardboard, or this is my foam tape that I use when I want to add dimension, because this way I can poke right into that. So what I'm going to do is line up my copy, my 5-inch circle out of copy paper until it lines up with my pencil lines. And then I'm just going to take just a push pin, and where I've marked the middle, I'm going to poke through and now mark the middle of the happy birthday message. So I've got my middle marked. You want to do that with all three. So if you look closely, you can see I've already got the middle marked on all three of these. Well, for the back, the base, the one that's going to remain 5 inches, what I want to do is have a little bit of support for that. So I've got construction paper, I've also used cardstock, but what I'm going to do is put adhesive on the back and fasten this down onto something that's a little heavier. So let me just take some adhesive. What I usually do is I walk up to a window and I put this against the window so that I can easily see through the window where I need to place my adhesive. Doing it this way, I'm going to have to just guesstimate. As you know, I always tell you you're going to use more adhesive than I am. I do kind of want to make sure I'm getting close to some of those edges. So once you have the adhesive on the back, if you have a Xyron machine, it's great if you want to just run it through there. Put it on top of your cardstock or construction paper, whatever you're going to use to make it a little more sturdy on the base. And then all you need to do is follow the pencil line and cut it out. So as I get close, I'm realizing that I should have done this step before marking the middle. So I'm just going to take this back. I still have the mark, but it doesn't go through the red. So I'm going to go back through with the same push pin and remark so that now the red that I just added for some extra sturdiness has the same mark. This is going to be the base of the card. So I'm going to set this aside for a minute. And now I need to look at creating the next two size circles. What I want to do is remember I've already marked, if I put this through, you can see I've already marked the middle of this next circle. So I'm going to take my 4-inch circle, and it's also marked, and I'm going to put the pin through the middle and then line this up and put it through the middle here. This way I make sure that I have both of these lined up so that I have the exact center. And at this point, what I'm going to do is hold it down, and with a pencil, I'm now going to trace around the 4-inch circle. So if my fingers are in the way, once I get it all traced, I'll move my hand so you can see. But I have a pencil line that's marked the circle. If you want extra sturdiness on this layer, at this point you would put something, more red paper behind there. Since I'm not going to put an extra layer of thickness, I'm just going to go ahead now and going to cut on the pencil line that I just marked. So as I'm getting to the end, because I just drew this on with pencil, it's not photocopied. If there's any place where pencil still shows, I can go back and I can erase it off of this 4-inch circle. So now I'm going to just put this aside. This is going to sit on top. And now I need to take the third one. Remember, it also, if I do this, you can see, it also has the middle already marked. So now I need to take the smallest size circle, and I'm going to put the pin through the middle, line it up so that I get this right in the center. And then when I have them lined up, I'm going to just repeat the process. I'm going to use my pencil to mark this, in my example, it's a 3-inch circle, but remember, you might want to make yours smaller or spread the letters out so that your message isn't obvious by having too much of it readable in this smallest center. Okay, now I'm going to go back and I'm going to cut along my pencil line to get the smallest circle. This is the one that's going to sit on the very top. Once again, because I just drew this line on with my pencil, when I cut my circle, if any of that pencil still shows, I can go back with my eraser and I can erase any edges where I can still see pencil line. So what you end up with is now what you need to make the card. So I have the top layer and the middle layer and the bottom layer that's backed. So I now have them all aligned. You could use a screw punch or a hole punch and get in there, but I like them to stay tight so that when the message is aligned, it will stay together and not want to keep swiveling or turning. So I am not going to make it the opening or the hole any bigger than from the push pin. I'm going to leave these tightly together. And then you need to pick a brad. You can either pick a color that you think kind of goes with what you're doing, or you can pick a color that you think will add more detail. And I'm going to just, actually, because it's sitting on red, I think I might use this one. It's smaller. Oops. So there is the brad. I'm going to flip it over. The brad is so close in color to this red backing that it may not be quite as obvious. Be sure to pick a brad that has long enough prongs on the back for however many thicknesses, depending on the backing that you may have placed behind your circles. So you have them spread out, and now it's just a question, when it's all twisted, for the person to not know the message. And the real test, when we line these back up, will everything line up, and will we be able to read the message? Ah, sweet, sweet success. Now it's just a question of putting it into an envelope. I started with a circle, so I actually have square, 5-inch square envelopes. But if not, just pick an envelope that's big enough. If you don't want to incur extra postage, then you don't want an actual square envelope. You're going to want to have an envelope that's a rectangle so that the post office won't charge extra for that. You know, who knew something as simple as a circle could so easily transform into a spinning card with a hidden message?